have an issue with a majority of my neighbors. I love to feed the iguanas. I'm friends with the iguanas. I take care of the iguanas, and I'm starting to piss off a lot of people. Come on, Bruno. I can call them and they know my voice. They'll come out and hang out with me. I'll share my food with them. They don't need to go scrounging out there for food. I can give it to them. And the other neighbors are getting jealous. These are people that I've been friends with. The iguanas don't like them. It's not my fault that the iguanas eat their plants. If you were feeding them regular food, then they wouldn't go eat your plants. The lady next door, she's like, the iguanas are scaring my dog. I get verbally abused by the neighbors, calling me names, saying I need to stop this. I'm a freak, forest boy. They call me jungle boy. I'll put food in my mouth and let the iguanas eat from my mouth. I've been bitten by iguanas, scratched by iguanas. Iguanas crawl on me. All I want to do is live peaceful, and I don't need everybody being pissed off at me because I'm trying to do what I feel is right.
Well, your friend kind of bit you there.
Oh yeah, I wasn't expecting that one because they don't usually bite me, but I was trying to have a moment with it. I was playing music for it, and I went to feed it, and I think he thought one of my fingers was part of the food, and it literally bit me. I didn't know they had, honestly, like I didn't know they had razor sharp teeth inside there because it looks like just gum like that. And that thing like just tore my finger up. Literally when I was shutting off the camera, like blood was dripping off my finger. It was crazy.
Yeah, you didn't know they had razor sharp teeth.
No, I didn't
Yeah,
do that
I
part
see
of the
there.
research. Yeah, you see the blood?
Yeah, you
So-
might kind of want to check a few of those details out.
Yeah, well
before
now
you
I
go.
know, so I'm good.
Yeah.
You know?
And they scratch your chest and
Oh yeah, I had
they
scratches all
bled
over.
your
But
chest. Yeah.
it was all good.
You play music for them.
Yes. They were like, wow, this guy's cool, man. He plays music, he got the rain coming down. I mean, it was.
So you think that was going through their reptile brain that
Oh yeah,
this guy's cool. I like his music. He's good vibe around here.
So these creatures that people call pests and invasive and this and that, they're actually so smart. They know my face. They know my voice. I could come out there and go, come on, baby, come on, Bruno. And they'll come right to me.
So this is Bruno and Big Marge.
Yeah, Large Marge.
Large Marge?
Yeah, well, you can call her Big Marge, whatever you want to call her, but she knows Large Marge.
Yeah.
And then that's Bruno, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to hurt her feelings, but she's not here, so.
Yeah, I don't think she'll be I'm gonna show her this. I'll let her see the show and all, you know.
Yeah, do that. Now, you say the iguanas love Reese's chocolate cups?
Oh yeah.
You feed those out of your mouth?
Yeah, I do actually. There's a picture of Bruno eating it. So I was like, you know what? This is like really cool. It could be cool for the Reese's company to actually use that as a commercial or something. Like it loves it. It eats it in one bite. It's just like, oh, boom.
Yeah, well, they might see this today.
Oh yeah, and then they'll be like, hey, I want
yeah.
Bruno.
I can see the headline now. Reese's poisons lizards.
When Darren first moved in, I thought he was a great guy. Now my thoughts have completely changed. He's a nightmare to live by. He's a nightmare to have in the community. Everything you're not supposed to do, he does. I'm just sick of him with the iguanas. Just feeding them constantly is an absolute nightmare. They used to want no part of people. The moment the door would open to the backyard, they would scatter. Now they see it as a signal like, oh, I'm gonna eat. Once he comes out and starts feeding them, more come out. My main issues are my dogs. Some of these things are big, like easily 5 feet. If one of them decided to grab a hold of my dog, they could do some damage. They eat plants, they crap and pee everywhere. My water bill is probably through the roof because I'm power washing my patio every couple weeks because of this guy. One day, I went over and he offered me like a piece of moss. So I'm like, no, what the hell am I gonna do with a piece of moss? That's pretty weird, man. And then he's like, well, I named them. So I'm like, all right, I gotta get out of here. I've called him Tarzan. I've called him George of the Jungle. I've called him Dr. Doolittle because I guess he's the animal whisperer of the community. Lizard man.
Just got a little iguana.
You kind of hear him sometimes, like talking to these things.
Don't go.
It's kind of disturbing. He has him over like it's a happy hour. I have had my dogs poop and pee in his driveway, and I don't care if he sees me or not. He can clean it up, just like I have to clean up the stuff that he's causing. We've come to words. It's gotten heated. It hasn't gotten physical. I mean, it can if he wants to. Just stop what you're doing. Just stop.
Well, Matthew is joining us from South Florida. You're frustrated with your neighbor here.
Yeah, I really don't know where else to turn. I've had it with him.
Well, last time you saw him, Matthew, you yelled at him, and you guys just don't communicate or get along at all.
He yells at me all the time. He can't even walk down the street and see me without yelling something. He comes, he's like Sasquatch coming down, McGilla Gorilla. And then he's like, oh, you let your iguana. He's from New York. He got the whole like ghetto thing, New York accent thing going on. And
yeah, it's very easy to be tough when I'm in a different time zone. So we can see if you want to say that. We can see that when you want to see me. When you come back, we'll talk about
my own time zone. I could have stayed home in my own time zone and had this go on.
Well, he's calling you Jungle Boy. You just called him McGilla Gorilla.
Well, you should see him. He comes out, boom, boom. I see him coming down the street. I don't even want to confront with him, but I'm like, here he goes again. It's like a shoestring, and then this little, like, I don't know what rats had incest in New York, but this thing came out, and he's like walking it down the street. I'm like, was that before the iguana got to it or after? I mean,
this is his dog?
One of them. I mean, there's a few, but this one's like, I mean, I wouldn't even let that thing in my house. And then he's worrying about the iguanas outside. I mean, come on, just.
Do you give any credence at all to any of their complaints, or do you think they're just completely off the wall?
Honestly, I'm doing me, man. You know when you say you do, that's what I go by. You do you. If it's making me feel good, I don't care what they think, dude. Do you think I give a crap what they think?
Well, apparently not.
Here's the thing. Do what you do inside your own walls.
What?
Here's the problem. Do what you do inside your own walls, okay? You can't do what you do when you live in a gated community, a townhouse gated community, when the houses are connected. It affects
bring
everybody.
them into my house
That's
then
the
and let
biggest
them live in the
problem.
house?
That's the biggest problem, is that you doing this nonsense has now affected everybody.
Here's the thing. It just says, warning, beware of alligators, snakes, and unknown wildlife in the area. No swimming, fishing, boating. Don't feed any wildlife. Keep your distance.
Yeah. It doesn't say don't feed iguanas. It's not specific. Alligator, snake, and unknown wildlife. Unknown is not an iguana. Iguana is known.
It says don't feed any wildlife.
But it's not specific. That's not black and white. It's red and white, and it's also in a gray area. It says do not feed any wildlife. Well, guess what? They're not wildlife to me. So in my head, it's not wildlife. It's my friend. And if you're feeding a homeless person and the person over here is mad because there's a homeless person in their area.
Iguanas are not homeless. They live in the pond.
But they depend on me.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
There are thousands of them down there that get by. I've never met you. They don't listen to your music. They don't come to your house.
But the ones that do like me and love me and have a vibe toward me, they expect me to come outside and feed them.
They don't have expectations.
They do. You just don't know.
You need to get a life, not a lizard.
You don't know.
Florida Wildlife says there is an infestation of iguanas.
Is, but not in my yard.
Yes, you're drawing them into your
yard.
Yeah,
so I could take care of them and I can control
them out
the
of your mouth, and they have salmonella. You can get botulism.
Yeah, well,
this can cause paralysis.
Did I ever get that in my paralysis? No, I'm not. I got bit by the iguana. Did I get salmonella? No. I put peroxide on it. Not yet. I mean, it's been months.
What do you think about what your dad's doing?
I thought at first it was a really cute thing. They would just come up on the patio. They would always come out when my dad was there. At first, it really wasn't harmful. Like, he would just bring fruit out there.
It was fun. It was really fun at first.
I have videos on my own phone of it because I thought it was funny. I really didn't see a problem with it.
Until there were about 6, 7 of them at a time sometimes, and we're getting threatened by the neighbors, and it's a big back and forth. And I think, it's just ongoing. It's not necessarily, it doesn't bother us, but we're worried about him to the extent we don't want him to get hurt. You know, we don't want anything to happen, you know, in the community.
What do you think about the health issues here?
The thing is, I have a bond with them, and I am immune to salmonella, so I'm not going to catch it. I already touched the iguana poop. I touched the iguanas. I fed them out of my mouth. That iguana is not the only thing I ever fed. I went to New York City and fed birds, the pigeons, out of my mouth. They're flying rats. Did I catch salmonella? No. So, with that said, I'm immune to salmonella.
Sometimes I wish she would just leave the food out there for them and not do things like that.
But
The
you
last thing
guys
I would want
enjoy
to do
it.
is to see her.
It's
You guys
definitely fun.
enjoy it.
I mean, I
These are
definitely
like,
get a
oh,
good
look,
laugh
you even
out
have
of
your
it.
friends come over and like, look at my dad, look, he feeds it. Go do it, Dad. Put something in your mouth. Let them feed it for them.
Yeah, but
So,
you're
right?
gaining new
So,
information now, right? You're gaining new information now, like salmonella and botulism, and drawing these things up
Stuff
to your.
people shoot it in their face anyway, don't they?
What can you tell us about this, Perry? I'm saying he shouldn't be feeding these out of his mouth to start with, that they do have bacteria, that you shouldn't be handling them, putting your hands in your mouth, you shouldn't be feeding them out of your mouth. It's not a good idea. Tell me what's going on here.
I agree with you 100%, Dr. Phil. And to you, man, I understand why you want to do this and you think that you're helping them in the long run. Me personally, I was born and raised in South Florida. For 29 years, I've lived there. And I've seen their population expand over the time I've lived there. To give you a little bit of background about them, they're actually not native to Florida. They're native to Central and South America. They were brought in around the 1960s in the pet trade, and they were let go. People like yourself, they think they're really cute when they're really small, and then they outgrow their cage very quickly, and you can't take care of them anymore, so now they're in the wild.
I take care
now,
of them even
just
knowing
to
they're
give you
big.
a little bit
Let
of
him speak.
just to give you a little bit of how big of a problem it is, I work for a local fire department down there, and I opened up a company specific to remove this one animal. And we are very busy removing that one animal.
So you're a nature hater.
I'm not, sir. I actually really do love our native wildlife and plants, and these guys are non-native to Florida, which in turn is causing issues for our native plants and animals, and
But
it's
you're a nature
out-competing
hater.
them. Each female can lay up to 70 eggs a year, and they don't really have any natural predators. Once they get to Bruno size, like you have here, there's nothing to limit their population, which in turn can be very detrimental to our native plants and animals.
Well, that's your opinion.
It's actually a fact, man. I'm sorry.
No,
can
you know
Google
what?
it.
First of all, you bring a nature hater on the show. You have him sitting there. You don't even tell me that.
You
he's
didn't
there.
even
what
know
you
they
want,
had
man.
teeth.
It's all
Well,
right.
I know now.
Not only are you not giving them the ability to search for food on their own, now they feel comfortable on your property to where they can bite a kid. If a kid's sitting in his backyard eating a sandwich, they can come and bite his hand.
But they're not gonna.
And
They
these
don't know
things
that
are,
kid.
like
They
you
know me.
said, you're an adult and you started bleeding very easily. These things bite like an alligator and they roll. And their nails can carry salmonella underneath them as well because they walk around in their feces. So you might not be affected by their bacteria, but a little kid, a dog, somebody else might.
Is there any theory under which you would alter your behavior?
No.
No.
Why should I alter what I feel is right? Like what I have a connection to? Would you alter something that you have a connection to? I don't know if you have pets or anything, but if your neighbor said, don't feed your pet anymore, are you gonna like listen to them? Or are you
Well,
gonna keep feeding them?
You said you didn't have pets, and I think that's the position you're embracing since that would be illegal. So I don't think.
Well,
you wanna
that's how
claim
I
them as
draw the
pets.
line, see? They come to me. I'm not technically keeping them as a pet, so there's no problem here. It's just he has the problem.
Listen, I want it to end. I don't want to live like this. It's exhausting. It's annoying. But you could just
You're jealous
see
of what I'm
how
doing?
Darren, shut up for 5 minutes and just let me talk. Just shut up. You've cut everybody off. Just shut up for 5
Well,
minutes.
that you're not getting to the
Stop,
point.
stop,
Get to the
stop,
point.
stop, stop.
Start, go.
So here's the thing. Like you said, he doesn't listen. He's got an answer for everything. Everything. I'm willing to say, listen, I'll bury this. I'll squash this. We can pretend it never happened. Just stop what you're doing.
Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.